Hey, welcome back to the channel. First video of the year. And also, this video is gonna be kind of a monumental one, if I gotta tell you, because in the last few days, I've been meditating and thinking about how I finally reached the first 10 years of me pursuing or being in pursuit of a professional music career. And that got me into reflecting on many of the things that I have done right and many of the things that I have done incorrectly. And of course, the vast majority of the stuff that I tried has failed and has been done in the worst possible manner. Why? You could say that it's out of inexperience, lack of guidance, or poor leadership. That's something that I also have to admit because, well, it's been my decisions that have led me to those outcomes, right? But also, on the other hand, I can't deny that some of the stuff that I have done has been successful, or at least has left me with some form of tangible success. I managed to turn my studio into something much more powerful or better, if I could say so. But also, this pursuit of music has allowed me to meet many different people in different places of the world and also being able to travel around playing my music. The thing is that all of the good has come with plenty of bad. Not because of the nature of our reality being dualistic, which it is, but also because this experience has led me to understand how integral it is and how important it is for us to come to terms with the fact that everything we want to achieve in life comes at a price. Nothing is free. So if you wanna, let's use this analogy. If you go to the gym and you wanna get, become bigger, get buff, the only way to do it is by suffering and withstanding the pain that comes with intense training, right? And the same happens in here. The difference lies in the fact that, well, the music business is ruthless. I can tell you that now that I have experienced plenty of what it has to offer. It's very, very ruthless. I'm not gonna say that it's evil, but there are plenty of moments and plenty of different details that could lead you to think or describe it in such a way. And if you know me, the way that I have pushed this entire career has been from the most independent of ways. From the starting point being me being able to record and produce my own stuff without the need of having any form of external intervention. I know I'm a little bit of a control freak in that regard, but it's because I have a clear vision in my head of what the music produced by Bardon has to sound like. And I mind that some of you watching will agree with that sentiment, because it's something that it's very much a product of our own selves, right? Now, with everything that has been going on in the last few days, and the fact that I'm reaching this landmark in my life, I wanted to make this video as a way for me to share some of these pieces of wisdom that I got out of my experience fighting this fight by myself, by my own, and trying to do it the best I can. And of course, me being just a guy, have plenty of limitations, and trying to pursue something that it's so monumental. And look at this. This has nothing to do with music per se, because what I'm trying to do with this is basically reaching my own independence, becoming my true only and one, my only boss. That's what I'm trying to say. By doing something that I feel proud of, and also doing something that holds value, not only to me, but also to the people who would listen to my stuff and spend time interacting with me online through the magic of social media. Now that I got to this point in my life, I can tell you that one of my biggest mistakes was never taking social media seriously, especially when I started back in 2016. When I released the first album, it was a complete flop, obviously. Why? because I have a huge problem with the whole notion of social media. I am basically an advocate for getting rid of this piece of stuff. I truly hate this whole thing with sharing your life online and stuff. And me being kind of a rock and roller inspired by the old stuff, I always saw, and back in that day, it was actually a viable option to hit the road and leave off the sales of merch and moving from town to town and surviving, well, doing the rock and roll thing, you know. You might know what I mean. It's a business model that back in about 10 years ago made sense for an up and coming aspiring musician. The thing is that as time goes on, lives keep pushing forward. You also start to realize that you need to, well, that business model cannot support a family. Will keep you in the same position, monetarily speaking, forever. Because getting out of that particular circle, it's possible, but it's extremely difficult, and you need more than your own music to pull it off. I told you all of that because that's when I realized the importance of social media. Because if I took it seriously back in the day, I could have made a little bit of a bigger name for myself rather than relying on the word of mouth, which was my whole point because I wanted to be a true rock and roller. How bad of an idea that was. Not because it didn't give. Well, I got plenty of great experiences. Don't get me wrong, and formative moments and stuff, and glorious as well because plenty of successes as well. The thing is that those tiny moments were more about feeding my ego, or are better for my soul, if that makes sense, than they are for my financial and the long-term survival of this venture. So that's when I realized the importance of social media because you should use that as a way to promote yourself. So mistake number one, and lesson learned. That's why you're watching this video. Mistake number two. Speaking of which, I took on social media seriously way too late because this channel, even though I opened the account before even I hit the first stages of the concept that is Bardon, I never did anything with it. And when I started getting serious with this, the whole apparatus, the way that the promotion of different videos took place on YouTube started to change. And if you've been around for long enough, you might remember this whole thing with the apocalypse and the different iterations of it. And also, you might be able to remember how much different YouTube is compared to how it was back in 2014, 15, and 16. And I know because I was there. I used to be, well, I've been always a huge advocate for YouTube as a platform because, well, there's plenty of knowledge and plenty of good stuff to be found in here. But I simply couldn't realize how important it was back in the day. And when I started taking on YouTube correctly, it was way too late. It was super hard, and it's been super hard for me to reach new audiences. And it's not only me, everybody. And if you are trying to get or break through YouTube in the last few months, you have seen that it changed even more. It's now even harder than before. And yeah, poor lack of vision. That's what I would say. But I'm not telling you all of this in a way to demoralize you. In the contrary, I'm proud of what I have achieved. I am happy with the results I've got so far. Would I want it to be better? Of course I want it to be way better and way bigger than it is right now. That's what I'm still pushing forward. And I want my story to be one that could inspire anybody watching this video. And also, I would like to watch this video 10 years into the future to see how much to use this as a comparison point. Not only in the way the video looks, my surroundings, my environment, but also, and particularly, the way I think. In a way, this is kind of a time capsule. I'm keeping this moment alive for me to be able to see it in the future. And hopefully, I get to that point and I'm able to release the next 20 years ahead video. That will be fun, right? Or at least it is fun to me. And as I said, I would like to make this video as a form of encouragement for any one of you watching. Because if I have learned something, it's this. Anything you do in life, it's gonna be as hard as your expectation or as... Look, let me rephrase it. Whatever you do in life, the level of difficulty is gonna be equal to how high that aspiration is. If you wanna do something very simple, the level of difficulty is gonna be simple. It's not gonna be that high. The bar of the entrance is gonna be easy. You're gonna be able to pull it off with less effort. So you can imagine that the higher you aim, the harder it will get, right? And that's what I have learned. I can tell you that it's worth the effort. Because even though this whole experience has been very painful to me, I have lost many things. I am planning on making a video discussing already the concept of sacrifice. But I can tell you right now that I have exchanged plenty, more than I ever thought, and more than if I knew beforehand, I would have second thoughts on truly pushing forward in this venture due to the price that I had to pay. But now that I did, it's not that I don't want to go back, or it's not that I feel that I am already stuck in this process. I wouldn't change my course if I had the chance, because I know what I'm doing is true. My vision is based on something bigger than myself. I'm doing this because I know that it's something that has to be done. And it's something that gives a meaning to my life, my own existence. And I hope that through my actions, through me following this path, I can inspire as many people as I can to follow and pursue the same principles, to look for their own mission in life, to find their own way, and to reach or aim to reach that level of fulfillment that comes with making sure that you did what you were meant to do with your life. I hope that made sense, because I truly mean it. I truly mean it. So please tell me what you think about all of this. If you have any form of words of encouragement, not only to me, to anybody watching, because that's something that I'm thinking about. It would be nice to give reasons to every single one of us why we keep pushing forward in music or in anything we do in life. It's beyond music, right? Because in the end, it's all about the pursuit of your own vocation. So with that being said, thank you for joining, thanks for watching. And as every single time that I meet you, I remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember, I will see you when I see you.